Hi friends, why don't you join me today? We are going to make an old-fashioned favorite to go along with our old-fashioned dessert series. Today we're making peanut butter cookies. Now peanut butter cookies are a great little treat. I mean, who doesn't love cookies? It doesn't matter what time of year, winter, spring, summer, or fall. They are a perfect little snack. They're great for when the kids come home from school, sit down for the night with a nice cup of cold milk or a hot coffee and have a couple of peanut butter cookies. If you can resist, you can have a couple. Maybe there'll be three or four. But let's go ahead and start. I'm starting with a softened stick of unsalted butter. I'm going to take about 1 cup of light brown sugar. And we're going to go ahead and cream that together. And I'm spilling it all over the place. I do have my oven on at 350. You want that good and preheated. I've actually had it preheating for about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. Sometimes I get multitasking and I do set my alarm so I at least can kind of gauge where I'm at because, we get multitasking and doing other things and we have the oven preheating a lot longer than that. So I set my timer, it'll go off, and then I'll usually, if I'm not quite finished with what I'm doing, I'll put that timer on for another 10 minutes to buy me a little time. But, ooh, I had a couple of lumps of these in this brown sugar. I didn't realize that. Let me break that up with my hand. So we don't want any hard lumps of, I already made another batch that's chili. That's been chilling. It's chilled over just a little over an hour. But as long as you have it chilled for an hour, that should be good. So I'm just using my fingers, but now they're all sticky, so let me rinse them off. Some soapy water. Man, my mom used to make these quite often. I'm sure it was a pretty affordable snack because there was 4 kids and these go a long way. I remember my mom making a lot of cookies. I have to say, I don't make cookies a whole lot. I don't know why. They're pretty easy. Instant gratification. Well, no, let me back that up. I do make a lot of cookies at Christmas time. I don't know. Are you a Christmas cookie person? Do you like make the same cookies every year? You got to have a certain recipe, or do you like to try new things? I do like to try new things, but when it comes to Christmas, there's certain ones I just have. Now, this little nugget of sugar I took out of there, it won't dissolve. Like I always have to have Russian tea cakes, pretty much. We make peanut butter blossoms a lot. Those. It's really a peanut butter cookie with a. As soon as they come out of the oven, you put a Hershey Kiss right in the middle. We love those. So you just want this good and mixed, so it's kind of dissolved a little bit. And we're going to take 1 egg. Had this at room temperature. Give that a good stir. One other, let's see, I'm trying to think what my Christmas cookies are. We make Russian tea cakes. We make these chocolate jumbos. They're like a molasses chocolate cookie with a very thin confectionery sugar icing. And those are so yummy. Um, Mostly raised, my husband and I raised our kids in upstate New York for quite a bit of years. And the area in New York, upstate New York, they really are known for those chocolate jumbos. I might make them one year. Maybe I'll make them this year. I mean, for a video. They are really super good. So we're going to use a teaspoon and a half of vanilla. I got a measuring spoon right there. Give that a stir. And then I have 1 cup of, in this batch, I'm using chunky, which most recipes say smooth. You can really do smooth or chunky. But my first batch I did smooth. So this batch I'm just going to do a little bit different. And actually, we'll see how this turns out because this is natural peanut butter. It doesn't have all the additives. I'm going to add just a little bit. I think I had just under a cup. And I usually keep this in the refrigerator when I open it. I give it a good stir because it has all those oils on the top. But I love this peanut butter because it just has peanuts and salt, and that's about it. There's no sugar in this, just peanuts and salt. Can't get any better than that. So we'll see how it works because this really is my first time trying this natural peanut butter in this recipe. And that's a little harder to stir than, the peanut butter that you get, the processed peanut butter, because it has like all kinds of oils, canola oil or vegetable or sunflower oil. I really try to keep those down. I have a lot of those, so all right. It smells incredible. Let me wash my hands. Let's sift our dry ingredients. Let's go ahead and sift our dry ingredients. We really don't have much. We have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And I have a teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we'll just give that a quick little sift. Easy peasy. No, I was talking about Christmas cookies. I know at church sometimes at Christmas time, us ladies will have a cookie swap. Those are kind of a lot of fun. I like that idea. The premise behind that is, you making, usually bringing a couple different cookies. So you might make, so if you want 12 dozen cookies, you'll make, or 6 dozen of one and 6 dozen of the other. I forget exactly how it works, but I think you have to make like how many ever batches you're swapping at, you're swapping out. A lot of times they'll, like, if you want 6 dozen, you make 6 dozen of your Christmas cookie that you choose, and then you swap. They put them all on a table, and so if you want to go home with, I forget, 2 dozen or whatever, you can pick from the different cookies are out on the table. I need to Google that. I haven't done that in so long. I don't even remember exactly how it works, and I am tired. I've been cooking a lot today, so but yeah, maybe I'll put that in the little comments there, or put a little comment up there about how those Christmas cookie swaps. I'm sure you can tell me much better, but I've done that a few times, but not too often. I just remember making a lot of cookies at one time. So we're going to go ahead and gradually mix this in. Probably put 1/3 of the sifted flour mixture in there. And all that oil and that peanut butter that soaks right up. The butter, the egg. And you don't want to over mix this. And we can do the rest of there. And this one we're going to wrap up. This one has to go in the refrigerator for about an hour. Now let's see. I'm going to bake up the one batch. I might do the other tomorrow morning. I am tired. But I will have one of these. I will have a couple of these with maybe a cup of decaf or something tonight. And I go to sit down for the night and chillax. But making some cookies for homemade cookies for Christmas gifts are so nice. I think families really appreciate that. I know moms do. You have a little pretty arrangement of cookies. Give someone as a gift. Of course, I can remember when I was growing up. Now I'm giving my age. Remember, even still when my kids were growing up, when kids had the school birthday, remember you used to bring cupcakes or cookies to share with the class? Nowadays, because so many people have peanut allergies, and nut allergies, they kind of really discourage that nowadays, which I totally kind of get, but it was a different day we lived in. I sound like an old timer now. I know. I don't want to hear it. Some of those things were simpler. I didn't have to worry about that. I don't know. Like, I was born in 1962, and I hardly knew anybody that was allergic to nuts back then. So this, I used on this batch, and I'm just pressing this down a little bit so it will be easy to break off pieces to make we're going to make little balls. That one's a lot softer. I let that peanut butter set out, I think, a little longer than the other. So let's get this dough out in a moment. And I'm going to just clean it. All right, I got my cookie sheet. I'm going to get that dough out. That's nice and chilled. And you don't need to grease the cookie sheet. And I'm taking this little scoop. I forget what size this is. I'm not sure what size this is. I've got this one, and I had another smaller one. I don't know where that is. Oh well, we'll just use this. Kind of like 1-inch balls. I think I will get 12 or 15 on this sheet. And I've just been into decorating for fall this year. Just a few little things, not trying to overdo it. I still kind of feel like I overdo it a little bit, but let's make it cozy in the house. So I'm making these. It is fall right now. Maybe you're watching this at another time of year. Probably the least time I like to make cookies is the summer because I don't like to get the house so hot. This one is a little sad. It needs a little more. Except for, I will say, I say that I did make ice cream sandwich cookies, homemade ice cream sandwich cookies. I did that, I think it was late spring, like maybe early summer, because that is a fun thing to do if you're having a kid's birthday party. That is a fun thing because, a lot of kids don't eat birthday cake, and I really don't know if it's the same, but when I was raising my kids, I can remember buying a big cake or making a big cake, and the kids didn't eat much of it at all, at all. They don't eat a lot of cake. They're busy having fun with their friends. So sometimes I think a little treat is perfect. You could take these peanut butter cookies and you could make an ice cream sandwich. The thing about peanut butter cookies is we're going to get 2 batches out of this dough. The thing about peanut butter cookies is they do crumble a little bit easier. So I don't know how well it will be for an ice cream sandwich. We could always give it a try. I don't have any vanilla ice cream right now, but so I just take a little fork, tines, dip it in some all-purpose flour. And we're just going to go ahead and smush them down. I remember seeing Martha Stewart. She actually pushed it down with her palm. Let's try that because she knows what she's talking about. And let's go ahead and put our little, now some of them are a little thicker than the others, but want to try to get them as uniform as you can because then you'll have some done. Now I'm going the other direction and I'll get a close-up of this. I don't have a camera guy to come in and get a close-up. It's all me here. So some people do this with sugar. I think my mom's done it with flour and sugar. I'm gonna stop, wash my hands, and take a close-up of that. Whoa, almost skipped over my stand. Here's a little close-up of them. It's not the greatest of lighting, probably, because it is nighttime when I'm doing this. I have quite a bit of light on, but I'll let you see my mess. I'm in the middle of soaking apples. I'm gonna make some more apple goodies. It's up in the air of what I'm going to make. And there's a mess behind the scenes, live and real. Let's get these in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going to set my timer for 9. Time to take those cookies out. Now, I told you 8 to 10 minutes. It really should be 10 to 12. So they've been in here for almost 11. Let's take a look. I think they're good. What did I do with my spatula? Oh, here it is. Here it is. I don't think they're quite done. No, they're not. And I knew better. I knew I should wait 2 minutes. So this one's crumbled and I hit that one. They're so delicate. You should wait 2 minutes before you handle them. So let me put my timer on. I'm going to do 1 minute more. I know you're not supposed to. I wanted to see if they were brown underneath. They crumbled. Note to self, don't do that. Well, this is a good time to mention, hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because we are doing a lot of fall desserts. And right now, pretty soon we're going to be talking a lot about Thanksgiving. I have a lot of videos already from the last 2 years on various side dishes for Thanksgiving, wonderful desserts for Thanksgiving, and just some tips to make if you're hosting Thanksgiving, a lot of stress-free planning tips. So go ahead and subscribe so you can get that. And then also I have a free ebook for you for a resource. If you're hosting Thanksgiving, this is kind of your go-to guide for hosting Thanksgiving. I have it on what size turkey to get for how many people you're going to feed. I'm going to let these set for probably 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. And then I'll put them on my wire rack and we'll put another batch in. But yeah, my ebook for you has how long to thaw your turkey, how long to cook your turkey, give you a lot of great ideas on table settings for your decor, what decor theme you're going to pick. It's your go-to guide. So if you haven't gotten that, go ahead and hit the link. I'll try to put it in the comments. It'll also be on my description page. It's backtohomedoreen.com, and you can get that. You'll get a digital download of that when you sign up for it. So hope you take advantage of that. I was glad to do that. We'll be back in a moment. Let's very carefully see if we can get these on the wire rack to cool down. Yeah, that's better. Peanut butter cookies are a real kind of crispy cookie, so they're a lot more delicate. Yeah, I don't think we can make ice cream sandwiches with this. Now, if I had used more of a processed peanut butter, I might be able to make an ice cream sandwich, but I think with this natural peanut butter, because it's so oily, and maybe I could have used a little less butter, but they smell yummy. And let's load up that tray again. Now, if you have more than one tray, that's good. This is so hot. I'm going to let that cool down a little bit, but if you have more than one tray, then you can get that set up. All right, let's finish those up. Now, if you want smaller ones, I mean, I think these are a good size. You could use a smaller scooper, or if you want them bigger, and you just need a bigger scooper. So this really made, each batch made pretty much 2 dozen. Some of them aren't quite the same size. They're close. I'm adding just this little bit of leftover dough. Well, let's do a baker's dozen. Take a little from that one. Just use my palm, lightly pressing down on those, and let's get our little design on there. You know, I never looked up if there's like a scientific reason for doing this, or it just makes the cookie look, you know, what kind of cookie it is. I need to look that up. I gotta Google that. Let me know in the comments if you know if there's doing this little design on there is more like helps the cookie bake better or something. Obviously it doesn't affect the taste. Maybe that's just how they did it, so you know it's peanut butter cookies. That cooled down. Still a little warm. I let that tray cool down about 10 minutes. I'll set that at 11. Now clean up. I'm going to get a cup of coffee ready in a few moments. All right. It smelled good, very good, and I tasted a little bit that broke off, and it tastes really good. So I'm really pleased because this is the first time making them with the natural peanut butter. I don't know if you can do it with every brand. I'll try to remember to post the brand I used for this. I'm going to get me a big cup of decaf coffee and a couple of these cookies. And I am going to sit down. I was just watching Perfect Strangers on TV while I was waiting for these to cool down. Remember that show? I think it's from the 90s with Balky and Cousin Larry. Don't be ridiculous, darling. That's a funny little show. Sometimes you just gotta chill out with something simple and silly. So these won't take long to cool. Let's get that coffee. But thanks for joining me today. You can watch me make my cup of coffee. It's a mess in my dining room. Not too bad. I'm still not quite done putting all my fall decorations and putting things away. But we're getting there. Monday's my cleaning day. Today's Monday. So let's find some decaf. There we go. That decaf. Yep. But thanks for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed making these homemade old-fashioned peanut butter cookies. Put them on your rotation, and like I said, I'll try to remember to put the link or put the brand in the description for that peanut butter. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, a lot of good eating, and I'm tempted to try a gluten-free flour with those. I got to do a little more research because it's like I've gotten pretty decent with gluten-free cakes, but I haven't given a whole lot of try. I've done a few gluten-free cookies, but I need to master that a little bit. Let me know if you have a favorite gluten-free cookie that you make just for fun, you know, just for the kids having a birthday party or a little get together with your friends with a cup of coffee and a cup of tea. But anyway, I enjoyed making these videos for you. Please do me a favor and like and share. That really helps me a lot. And that keeps me motivated to keep making videos. We're doing everyday meals, a lot of desserts, lots of desserts, side dishes, and like I said, we're going to be doing a lot for Thanksgiving coming up. You'll have to tune in and see what my theme flavor is going to be this year. I try to pick a theme flavor for my holiday meals or you know, any kind of special occasion. I like to have a theme and work around that. It's just a thing I do for fun, and it just pulls things together when you're getting those creative juices going. So anyway, go ahead and hit that subscribe button today, and don't forget to get your free book, 7 Steps to Hosting a Stress-Free Thanksgiving Dinner. That link is going to be in the description or the comments. Back to homewithdoreen.com. As you want to start if you're hosting Thanksgiving, you want to start getting ready, and that will help you. There's so many great tips in there, and it'll be beneficial for you. Anyway, I don't know what we're gonna do next. It's gonna be a dessert or side dish. We'll see. If there's anything special you'd like to do next, let me know. If there's anything special for the holiday, especially with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, maybe you want some appetizer ideas. Oh, and I do have some appetizer videos. Just gotta scroll through. I think I'm gonna do a playlist for appetizers. I don't have too many, but I have a few, and I'm gonna be working on some new ones for this Thanksgiving also. And I can't think of anything else. So y'all have a good week. God bless.